Brace yourselves, freedom lovers, because we're about to dive into a story that will send chills down your spine. The UK has just unleashed Orwellian speech laws that could land you in jail for a simple retweet. But it doesn't stop there. We've got Joe Rogan sounding the alarm, comparing it to Soviet Russia. Is this dystopian nightmare heading to American shores? And in a twist that affects us all, the World Federation of Advertisers is shutting down GARM after X and Rumble's lawsuit. So what does this mean for free speech online? Stick around, because this story could be the key to understanding the future of your First Amendment rights. Now, in these uncertain times, protecting yourself is paramount. Just as we're exposing threats to free speech, you need to safeguard yourself on the road. Our sponsor's cutting-edge dash cam is your silent guardian against accidents and false claims. With 4K Ultra HD night vision, 24/7 motion detection, captures every detail, potentially saving you from legal battles. Recent reports show that drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in accidents. Visit carvisionx.com. It's linked down below for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Don't wait for a crisis. Secure your driving future today and drive with the confidence of irrefutable evidence on your side. Okay, so let's get into this. You guys have probably been following what's going on in the UK. Riots. It is absolutely insane. Now, I don't even know where to begin here because it's so frightening. I guess before we get to the GARM situation, because GARM, that's really good news about GARM. I think we should open up with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan goes there, says the UK's speech crackdown reminds him of Soviet Russia. You ready for this? Let's go.
Well, now a lot of just terrible government overreach. You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets.
Yeah. Well,
England, people talk about Soviet Russia, like how bad Russia is in terms of cracking down on thought police and cracking down on bad tweets and things like that. I think the statistics are, I think England I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for thought crimes where they've said things online that people find to be a hateful thing or a problematic thing. And I think it's only 200 in Russia.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe in Russia they're too scared to do it at all.
Could be. Yeah. But the fact that they're comfortable with finding people who've said something that they disagree with and putting them in a fucking cage in England in 2024 is really wild.
Yeah.
Especially they're saying you can get arrested just for retweeting something.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
And here's the problem with that. Even if you say, yeah, well, people shouldn't tweet hateful things. I agree. They shouldn't. But who's to decide what is a hateful thing?
That's the problem. It's
That's
subjective.
the problem. It's very subjective.
And it still shouldn't be a crime.
And in our lifetime, we've seen that get moved, right? So it used to be if a guy thought he was a woman and his name was Doug, and you grew up with Doug, and all of a sudden Doug wants to be called Debbie, if you call him Doug, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, maybe you're being rude to call him Doug, but it's not a hate crime, okay? Well, now a lot of people think it's a hate crime, and that got you banned from Twitter for life. So if you dead name someone on the old Twitter, you are banned for life. Dead name, not even making up a name. You can call him an idiot. You can call someone an idiot. Okay, forget about a man in a dress. Maybe that's a problem. But if you call like a regular guy an idiot, you stupid fuck, fine, no problem. But if you call Doug, you will get banned for life. Okay, that's the new hate speech. That's crazy. Now, if that keeps going, that didn't exist before. If that keeps going, maybe you can go to jail for calling him Doug. Maybe they think it's okay to put you in jail because you violated their hate speech laws. Just terrible
So,
government over.
What's interesting about how he's talking about dead naming is that when I had my consultation with YouTube, I was told that you couldn't dead name somebody because that they would consider it hate speech, and therefore the channel would not get remonetized. Now, it's not a topic that we cover here. I just stay away from it because it's repulsive to begin with. So I just avoid it. But the fact is that, he's bringing it up how you get banned from Twitter for life for dead naming, and that's actually one of the points that was brought to my attention regarding the terms of service on YouTube. And now people are being put in jail for retweeting posts on X. And Elon Musk sounding off on this. He's calling it the woke Stasi. And wokeness tweeting that UK authorities will round up and charge citizens who retweet any material deemed as inciting hatred. Now, this appears to be the same post that was included in the piece with Rogan.
Incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence.
The DPP warns, this is the lower third, this is the Chiron on this, Sky News report. DPP warns sharing online material of the riots could be an offense. So if you are connected to what's happening there, you want to find out what's happening, you want to share what's happening there in the UK, simply by retweeting information regarding the riots, could land you in prison. Now, remember, the UK does not have a Bill of Rights and a free speech amendment like we have here. Thank God. We overthrew the crown and established the Constitution. But this is what they want to bring here. Look what's happening up in Canada. Same type of situation. They're policing social media and putting people in prison for what they believe are hate speech violations. They can't do that here. Instead, what they do is they create terms of service, and then if you violate the terms of service, they just terminate you or they demonetize you, shadow ban you, because they cannot call it criminal. But they're on the way. They are on the way to making that happen. Someone's going to create legislation at some point that is going to amplify and redefine hate speech, even though we have a First Amendment here. Now, in the vein of this demonetization, some good news. We just reported the other day, Elon Musk filing a lawsuit against the Global Alliance for Responsible Media. Now, the Global Alliance for Responsible Media was recently brought to light in a congressional hearing on the Weaponization Committee with Jim Jordan. We presented to you clips here of Ben Shapiro testifying before that committee because the Daily Wire and Breitbart were also targeted by that group, the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, GARM. And when we discussed this the last time, I had presented this, that listen, this channel's been demonetized. We're fighting for survival. If you want to support us, there are links down below. I hope you will make a decision to chip in $5-10 because it helps, sincerely. So we said, listen, we need to find out if our channel, if, like, for example, if GARM reached out to YouTube and said, shut these guys down, take their advertising away. Because during the 2016 election, this channel was one of the most influential channels online. We helped elect Donald Trump in 2016. And it's evidenced by all the media attacks that came after the win. The Washington Post, the New York Times, the Guardian, Forbes, all these outlets came after us. right after the 2016 election. And then they changed the algorithm in 2017, just a few months later, and suppressed the channel. Overnight, our channel lost 80% of its viewership because of an algorithmic shift to lift up the authoritative voices. That's what they called it. CNN and MSNBC and BBC, those were the authoritative voices. But people like me, who do our own investigation, have our own positions and opinions, no. Just sweep them down. And as I've mentioned before, Zach Voorhees bringing out that information, confirming that information when he blew the whistle, bringing out documents listing our channel and internal records. So I brought up that question. I said, well, what is, we got demonetized 19, 20 months ago, fighting for our life here every day. Was GARM involved in that decision-making process? Did GARM put pressure on YouTube to demonetize us? We don't know. So Elon Musk steps up to the plate and says, we're going to sue GARM. We're going to sue you guys to find out exactly what happened. I put out a message to Elon, to Mike Benz, to all the people who were inside of that lawsuit to include us because we want to find out. And what happens? The World Federation of Advertisers is now shutting down. They're shutting down the Global Alliance for Responsible Media following an antitrust lawsuit filed by X and Rumble, according to Business Insider. GARM played a key role in the corporate cartel behind online censorship. So this is a huge, huge development. Rather than face the music, they decided they would shut it down. Kanekoa the Great tweeting out that message. Craig Chamberlain, wow, GARM shut down at the threat of a lawsuit from Elon Musk and Rumble. That goes to show they knew they were cooked right out of the gate and their position was indefensible. This is a huge victory for free speech. Love to see this. Go free speech. Amen. Big victory for free speech. Wow, this is great news. What's crazy is all the big tech companies that have bent the knee to GARM for years. All it took was a few people with courage. That's all it took. Elon Musk said, we're going to sue the hell out of you. We're going to find out. And they caved. This is an open admission of guilt. The lawsuit cannot be dropped. They must continue forward and get the discovery. Well, we'll see. Maybe the lawsuit will continue. Maybe they will continue to go to the next level of the organization because that was a World Economic Forum group funded by the World Economic Forum. Libs of TikTok even replying, wow, huge W. GARM fears discovery, and what cartel will we find? Yep. Leftists were all mocking Elon yesterday for filing this lawsuit. Cope and seethe, you libtards. Okay, so the Fourth Branch tweeting this point. GARM's 16 inaugural members include the WFA, the social media platform Facebook, technology company Google, its video subsidiary YouTube, social media company Twitter, Mobile Marketing Association, and others. GARM has been a flagship project of the World Economic Forum since at least November of 2019. So yes, it all makes sense now. The hammer dropped, Elon dropped it, and now they're shutting down. So let's just hope that the lawsuit continues to move forward. But the greater terrifying reality we're facing is the fact that the UK authorities are going to be rounding up citizens who retweet any material deemed inciting hatred. So I'll leave you with this. Free speech is dangerous unless liberals control it. Isn't that right? Free speech should be free. We should all be able to talk. We should all be able to have open dialogue, challenge narratives and question them. How else can we refine our positions if we don't get challenged? So, patriots, if that doesn't wake you up to the threats facing our freedoms, I don't know what will. From the UK's thought police to the collapse of online censorship cartels, it's clear the battle for free speech is far from over, but here is a silver lining. With every threat comes an opportunity for us to stand up and fight back. Keep speaking out. Keep sharing the truth, and never take your rights for granted. Remember, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. So keep watching the Raw feed, because we'll be here on the front lines bringing you every development in this crucial fight for liberty. And there's some big developments happening tomorrow, so buckle up. You need to subscribe to the channel right now so you are the first to know. Because the future of free speech is in our hands. Let's make it count.